Good evening and welcome to Pints and Quarts, a show presented by Craft Beer Nation. Today is Thursday, September 1st, and after a little bit of a hiatus, we're back. We're back with Pints and Quarts, and we're gonna go local tonight. Tonight we're gonna be talking to Jeff Frederick, the Prime Minister, and Ryan Heisey, who's the Minister of Operations of Brew Republic Bierwerks here in Woodbridge, Virginia. So pour that beer in a glass and get comfortable. And while the theme music plays, that'll be the perfect time for you to go check us out on social media. You can find us on Instagram at the Craft Beer Nation. We tweet at Craft B Nation. And of course, you can find us on Facebook. So, like I said, pour that beer in a glass, get comfortable, and we'll be right back with our interview. All right, welcome back to Pints and Quarts, guys. Tonight, as I said in the intro, tonight we're interviewing Brew Republic Bierwerks here out of Woodbridge, Virginia. But before we get to those guys, I want to introduce you to our panel. Freddie Rodriguez out of Boston, Massachusetts. How are you doing tonight, Freddie?
I'm doing good, man. Drinking good beer. Got Brew Republic on, some good people here. So, yeah, ready to dig in, ask some questions, see what's going on.
There you go. Gil Mello representing PA. How are you doing tonight, my man?
Doing awesome. Same as Freddie. Great beer, good company. Man, what can ask more than that for Thursday? Maybe be at the brewery, right?
Yeah, that too. That's a good place to be. And Matt Miller holding it down there on the other side of VA. How are you doing tonight, Matt?
I got that Shenandoah Valley on lockdown here. I've got a little bit of beer in my glass here as well too. So looking forward to hearing about the newest brewery in Woodbridge.
There you go. So, as I said before, Jeff Frederick, the Prime Minister of Brew Republic Bierwerks. How are you doing tonight, sir? Thank you for joining us.
Very well, thank you.
And we have Ryan Heisey, who's the Minister of Operations. Ryan, how are you doing tonight?
Also known as the Minister of Shenanigans. I'm great.
That should actually be your official title, the Minister of Shenanigans.
I'm going to put it on my business cards.
There you go. And of course, you can find these guys on Twitter at Brew_Republic. So be sure to follow them on Twitter, check them out, harass them a little bit, and just have some fun with them. I'm sure they'll appreciate it.
Always.
So Jeff, let's start with you, man. Tell us a little bit about your journey and your love of craft beer and how you got to where you are right now.
It's a little of a long-winded story, and remember that I'm a recovering politician over here. So, in a nutshell, my late father-in-law was number 3 at Yuengling. When he passed away, we got to talking with some of the Yuengling people about opening up a Yuengling craft brewery, a spin-off of Yuengling. It ended up not working out in the end, but I learned a lot through that process and linked up with Ryan and Darcy, and we put our ideas together, put our heads together, and here we are at Brew Republic.
Awesome. So you guys were, I don't want to say, well, you aren't Woodbridge's first brewery because we got Ornery and we also have Growling Bear, but you are definitely one of the newest. So, and I'm going to be a little biased because you guys are literally 5 minutes down the street from me. My grocery store is right next to you. I shop there all the time. So suddenly my grocery store runs are going to be a little longer than they normally have been. So the popsicles are going to be melted by the time I pass. I'm certainly excited to have you guys.
I didn't know the show was possible.
You should probably come here first, Randy. That way it doesn't melt.
And then I won't buy any groceries. I'll go home empty-handed. So, Ryan, tell us about your love affair with craft beer and how you got to being the Minister of Operations with Brew Republic.
Well, when I was in the Army and I was stationed out in Arizona, and I first was introduced to Fat Tire. I'd never heard of it because we didn't have it out here on the East Coast back in those days. And it was the first beer that I ever had that tasted like more than just Bud Light. And I decided to start drinking better beer. We had Shinerbach when I was stationed in Texas. And then when I got stationed up here and eventually became a civilian up here, my wife tells the story that I bought her a homebrew kit for Christmas one year because I was the smartest man alive, and she started making beer. And after that, we kept brewing and decided to open our own place. That went through several different iterations. We played with the idea of moving down to Florida at one point, but eventually linked up with Jeff and turned our little idea into this really big, grand idea we have here in Stonebridge. So pretty excited about it. Looking forward to a couple weeks from now when we're finally open.
Now, I have to say, Ryan, that you are quite the lucky fellow because your wife actually brewed along with you, and your wife is actually the brewmaster.
Correct.
At Brew Republic. So, I mean, our wives just tolerate us drinking beer. Yep. Your wife actually brews beer, for the brewery. So that's awesome. And you
Why
guys
doesn't even tolerate it?
Yeah. Whose wives tolerate? Yeah.
And so you guys actually also have a connection with another local brewery, Forge, right?
Yes. So when Darce first decided to get into the commercial side of brewing, she went to work at Forge for Matt Rose. He put her to work as a bartender in there. She got some time as cellarman. She helped make a beer or two up there, and she just learned as much as they were willing to teach her. When she actually went to culinary school at Stratford here in Woodbridge before that, and when she had to do her internship, she interned for Mad Fox and went to work for Bill Madden up in Falls Church. And then she spent some time down at Adventure Brewing in Stafford too. So she's just going from brewery to brewery and learning as much as she can learn from all these really talented and just qualified people. And she kept on doing that until it was time for us to really get serious about this place, and that's when she hung it all up. But she has a really solid background of knowledge that she built her own knowledge from.
Awesome.
So
Nice.
yeah.
So Jeff, what you got this brand new brewery that's the doors aren't even open yet. You guys going to be opening up to the public on September 24th. When you started this, what was your goal? How did you want to differentiate yourself from just another brewery? What was your point?
Well, we're a new nation of beer. Does that sound better?
Yeah, you're good.
We're a new nation of beer. We're a republic, a brewery for the people, by the people, and we want to do things a little bit differently than everybody else. Not necessarily better, but differently. So we're not a all-out brewery with just a tap room, and we're not a all-out brew pub with full-service restaurant. We're something in the middle, we're really like a hybrid. And so our idea is to build a brand at this Stonebridge location through the retail sales, through the taproom sales, and then bring it on from there with the distribution channels and other locations, both stateside and even internationally.
Awesome. So how big is your facility there?
We're about 4,000 square feet.
Okay. And how big is your brew house?
It's a 10-barrel system. I'm not sure exactly in square foot.
Yeah, it's a 10-barrel rig. We have a 20-barrel fermenter, 4 10-barrel fermenters. The brew house itself is 15 barrels, but like I said, we only do 10-barrel shots. 20-barrel bright tank, and I'm looking at it to make sure that it's all. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I know it's a big day for you. I mean, it's going to be a big day for you in a couple of weeks. And so, do you have expectations like it's running high, or tell it a little bit what it involves? I know open a brewery, it's a big deal, but having an opening day and make sure everybody had good time and good beer, it's quite a feat. So.
Yeah, Gil, not only that, Gil, the anticipation is high because you guys are in a high traffic area.
Yes.
So people are looking forward to this. You know what I mean?
Yes. And we've noticed that even in building this out all this time, like we have a big giant glass wall on the one face. I don't know if you guys have been out here to look at it, but all day long, and even right now at almost 10 o'clock at night, people are walking by and staring at us and pointing and saying, "Oh, look at those guys!" You're absolutely right. This place is just hopping all the time. I had trouble finding a parking spot when I got here at like 8:30 tonight on a Thursday night. So yeah, I mean, it's just always just a buzz around Stonebridge. It really is probably the best retail center in the eastern side of the county. Just as far as foot traffic, the quality of the other stores that we have here. I mean, you mentioned Wegmans; they're awesome. Everybody loves Wegmans. But even like Apple stores here, and we've got all kinds of stuff. There's an REI right over there, and there's just tons of really cool stuff here.
We're here now almost all day long throughout the week. People are all day sticking their head in, asking when we're opening, when they can come in. we got the employees from different restaurants and stores in here that are coming in. They're asking when they can come get a drink after work. So there's a lot of anticipation. We're really excited about it. We've got a great following on Facebook. We've got a great email list. We've got a great, set of friends in our social networks all around Metro DC and even beyond. We're really excited about what's going to happen, what's happening. And, heck, we have volunteer days, not even customers. We have volunteer days. The first volunteer day we had over 25, 26 people show up. The second volunteer day we had over 50 people showed up. So there's a lot of anticipation, a lot of excitement, and we're excited as well.
So do you think of the local scene, beer scene in North Virginia, DC area, is that it's helping you guys? I mean, because I know there's always competition, right? But I know there's also business that boosts itself based on other businesses around.
Absolutely right. Yeah, Jeff is fond of saying a rising tide rises all boats. And in this market right now for beer, it's absolutely the truth. A few years ago, before they passed SB 603, there were only a handful of breweries, particularly in Northern Virginia. There were less than 10, less than 5 maybe even. And now it seems like every week another one is popping up. Little old Woodbridge, a year ago, we were anticipating the first 2, Ornery and Growling Bear, opening up, and now we're looking at about 5 with us and Water's End and Heroic. So it's a great time to live in Prince William County in Northern Virginia, and for people who love beer, this is the place to be right now.
It's very interesting because in this industry, it's a competitive industry, just like any other industry, but it's a little bit different because you can talk to just about any other craft brewer, and they'll tell you anything that you want to know, except for maybe their revenues, of course, and also their recipes. But anything else is pretty much on the table. And as Ryan said, I like to say, rising tide rises all boats. So when you have a question, you need help from a fellow craft brewery, they're very aggressive about helping out, answering questions. People are open to that. And that's actually kind of different from than all the different ventures that I've conducted in the past. Nobody talks to anybody about this stuff. But here, finally, when we started brewing here, we didn't have the hops. So we had to actually contact other breweries and find out who had some we could buy, who had some hops we could buy from. And we found them, got them, and it's sort of that thing going on. We've had excess equipment or supplies that we've sold to other breweries that are coming to the area. So it's cool, and it's great to be in the craft beer community in Virginia and in the United States.
So you guys, I'm assuming when you open up, obviously you're probably just going to be tap room only, but you guys could literally walk kegs to like 5 different restaurants. You know what I'm saying? Right around you.
With distribution's help, of course.
Again, what was that?
We have to have distribution on board, of course, but yes.
Yeah. Because your neighbor is a burger. You got Burger Fire right there, and you got PF Chang's, you got Nacho Ever Joe's, you got that other spot I can't remember.
Firebird, you got Bricks.
Yeah, Firebird, Bricks, right? And all these people serve beer. So, I want to say that I feel like you guys, this had to have been intentional for down the road setup, right? Is that where you were going, Jeff?
Again, we wanted to do things a little bit differently. You don't find many craft breweries in high-end retail centers with an REI down the street, with not your average Joe's, Uncle Julio's, with an Apple store. Usually they're in industrial areas, or they're in agricultural areas, or if they're in a shopping center, it's a little bit off the beaten path. We're right here, right off 95, very high profile. Heck, we have a Jumbotron right outside our door.
So on Sundays, if they put the Redskins games up there,
that's right.
You guys are gonna sell it.
They've been known to do that too. I remember last year I was meeting with one of our investors, and they had the Broncos Steelers game. It was a Sunday night game, and it just was on the Jumbotron. And I was just thinking, I was like, man, this is really cool. Just sit here and watch big screen TV football.
Right. And so for those of you who aren't here, it's not just like a static Jumbotron. It's like on a curved corner of the building. So the TV actually curves around the corner. And so it's crazy. You can see the lights from the interstate from the TV. So it's really cool. So speaking of the opening up on the 24th, what are you guys going to have on tap when at opening?
So we brewed, I'm assuming you're talking about beer. We brewed the IPA, the blonde, and the porter last week, and we've been monitoring their progress. They're fermenting beautifully. Everything is right where we want it to be. Tomorrow, Darcy and our assistant brewer Alex are going to brew the saison, and then on Saturday, Darcy and I are going to brew the stout. The next week after that, we've got an amber coming on deck and a wit beer shortly after that. So between those 7 beers, we're going to find the 6 most ready, and those will be the first ones on tap. The 7th one may even show up too, and we'll just build from there. We intend to brew 2 dozen different styles a year. We've got 8 core beers that'll rotate on and off our taps more frequently, but then all the seasonals, and then we have 6 different IPAs that we're going to brew throughout the year too. There's all kinds of stuff. And then Darcy every now and then might get a wild hair and decide to do something really, just off the wall, and that'll show up too. So it's just a constantly evolving tap line of things. Something for everybody.
Are you guys?
Go ahead.
Just a question. So, I may have missed this prior to this, but so were you guys at opening? Will you guys just be doing everything on tap, or are you gonna be filling? Is there growlers?
Growlers,
are
yes.
there plans for bottling or canning at all, or?
Well, so eventually we're going to get into bottling and canning. We don't have room in this 4,000 square foot jungle of ours for a line of our own, but we do intend one day to go into bottling and canning, and that may mean contracting, and may also mean a second, bigger facility. But yeah, eventually we will do that. In the meantime, everything will be off of keg. We'll have growler fills in here. We don't have a crowler machine, so we can't do crowlers yet. But we're open to just about any means of transportation of beer that people can come up with.
And as we get into distribution, well, pre-distribution, any distribution that we do here will just be solely kegs. We are looking at possibly having a small bottling system, and when I say small, I mean small, but that'll just be for folks that are coming in and wanting to take a 6-pack out if they don't want to use a growler or something along those lines.
Nice. So along the lines of beer, so this is a 2-part question. Number 1, is there any intention to brew a Northeast or a New England style IPA? Because I mean, you gotta admit that's the hottest. It's the hottest thing since. It's the best thing since back pockets right now. Right?
You don't have to do that. It's not a must. I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna disagree with Randy here. I don't think it's a must for a brewery.
Randy, you've been talking to Chris Jakes over at Ornery. You've been talking to Chris Jakes, haven't you?
No, I haven't. I really haven't.
You should, next time you go to Ornery, if he's there, ask him his opinion of New England style IPAs, and he'll give you a 3-hour rant.
You know what? I already know that it would be a rant because Ornery brews beer specifically to style. They're like strictly style type brewery, and I know they probably think that hazy New England style beer is ridiculous, and they'll never see the lights of their brewery probably.
He would want to just drain pour this.
Exactly. So the question is, do you guys have any intention to brew that style of beer? And then I guess the second part is, Jeff, you mentioned earlier that you guys are the Brew Republic. It's for the people. Are you going to be at any point taking input and or suggestions?
All the time. And our customers aren't our customers, they're our citizens. And we want to be responsive to our citizens. We want to make sure that we're performing well. And even what we will be rolling out at some point in the not-too-distant future is voter registration in the Republic. And we will follow that up with an actual election. And that's where we will generally solicit direct feedback. Of course, especially as we get opening, but going forward, we want to make sure that we're doing serving the beer, serving the food that the citizens want. We want to be responsive to the citizens. We want to make sure that that we're serving the things that they like, not necessarily the things that we like. And hopefully that way we'll continue to grow, and we want feedback. So people to come in, if you come in for our opening or subsequent, please feel free to share your thoughts. We want to know what you think.
Okay, so you will be making a New England style IPA.
I was going to say, to follow up, people of Woodbridge come in here and they're demanding a New England style IPA, then I suppose we're making one. But
they need to have a rally out front first, though.
I want to see if I can secure a spot on the city council of the Brew Republic.
Well, we do have our beer commission, which is essentially our beer club. But I officially nominate all of you and anyone listening for the beer commission. It's $17.99 a month on a quarterly basis, and coming in. Details are on our website, obviously at brewrepublic.beer. Check it out, and we'd love to have you sign up.
Done and done. I will be a member tonight before we get off this interview.
Look at that! You just made a sale. This is a profitable call.
Yeah,
See,
this is.
this stuff is easy, huh?
Yeah.
Sells itself.
There you go.
Yeah.
I do want to. I want to throw a question here, business side. Typically, we interview breweries that are open, and keeping the system going is everything. It's like, man, I got to get 2 more beers in the tank this week because we're going to launch this thing on Friday, and I got to have something in the tanks for next week. You guys are kind of in a different position. You're in the. I mean, marketing is everything you do right now, right? I mean, you're trying to create buzz. You're trying to get out the word. I mean, beer is important, but how are you guys handling social media? Where are you guys finding that your best return on investment is to get to the beer consumers in your area?
Well, Ryan can touch on the social media in just a moment, but the fact is that as we march to the date of opening, I've been telling Darcy for months that one of my biggest fears is running out of beer. So she's doing everything she can to fill that cold room with kegs, so when we do open, there's no thirsty citizen in this tap room.
Yeah, I think to answer the marketing question, we've been very aggressive on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram primarily. We do have our site set on Untapped and things like that, but if we're not serving any beers yet, that's kind of useless.
Right.
But Instagram, because people are all about pictures, and during this whole build out, anybody who's followed us on social media has probably at one point been kind of, these guys are posting another picture, good grief, because we just fill people's, walls and timelines with pictures of our build out. I think that's been a good thing, because a lot of people have come in here for the volunteer days, and the first thing they all say is, wow, this place is so much cooler in reality than it was on all your pictures. And it's like, well, good. It means they've been watching, they've been getting excited, and then they get to see it in real life, and they're just blown away by how amazing some of the stuff that they built in here is, because there's really just a lot of really cool features in here that are just really, really neat. And we set out to build an atmosphere that was comfortable and it's a cool place to hang out, and I think we've accomplished that.
And Randy, you can come in one day and you can do your show from here. We'd love to have that. And, we'll talk about social media. One of the other things that we're looking at doing, that we will be doing, we have 6 TVs in the tap room area, including the indoor beer garden. One of the TVs closest to the bar, it will be putting up live feed of Untapped, people checking in. We'll also be putting Instagram photos, people tagging Brew Republic. So you can be in the tap room taking pictures and see that right up on the screen there.
That's awesome.
That's
I've never seen that at any other brewery. That's an awesome way to make the whole experience more interactive for the people who are going to be there. I think that's fun.
Yeah, you can.
Who wouldn't love after a couple of beers seeing this?
Yeah.
On the TV.
That's awesome.
But you guys have a quite a. I want to say the word impetuous, but I forgot what's the right word in English would be. But it's quite a list of beers you guys are opening with. It's like I'm scrolling down into your website. I'm getting like, are you guys?
Well, the ones
it's 5.
Not all the beers on the website are the beers to be on tap on.
But that's what you already have on the tubes. I mean, just the fourth flight is 9 beers, plus more than 9 actually. There you have seasonal rotators. Like that's quite a list of beers that you guys are thinking to put in a year, right? Because I'm thinking this is going to be, even with seasonal, at least at some point into a year or two, you're going to have all those beer brewed at least once, right? And those
are the 24 that I just mentioned a minute ago that we intend to brew year 1. And like I said, they're not all going to be here at the same time because we only have 12 taps, and our intention is to double up all of those taps, so there'll be 6 beers on at any given time. But throughout the year, we do intend to have those 24 as the first 24. In fact, I'm about to add another one to it because we've been kicking around the idea of doing a California Common. So right now, the branding of that is in development, and that'll be on the website here soon too. So now it'll be 25.
Well, just so for a listener to understand, I know some people are going to listen to this or watch this video, they're going to think, oh, I know such a brewery does a different beer every month. But we're not talking about variations of a beer.
Right.
We're talking about 25 different styles right here. So that's quite a list.
Yeah, I mean, and the goal is to brew something for everybody, and I'm deathly serious about that, because not everybody likes hot bombs, not everybody likes Belgians or stouts. Some people, even here in 2016, some people like Miller Lite. Now, I'm not saying we're going to brew Miller Lite, but we are going to have something that is light that people who are coming from the world of macro breweries will enjoy.
We are a new nation of beer, and I guess this just says that we are a diverse new nation of beer.
Is that a calculated? I'd like to think, and maybe it is. Is that a calculated business positioning tool? Let's make these beers and see what people are crazy about. I mean, if maybe in a year's time you'll say, well, geez, this California Common sold out in the first weekend we put it on tap. So now you can kind of build a business plan for year 2 based on what sells from year 1 and what the people who live in your neighborhood and come to your place like.
Yep, absolutely right. Yeah, we're going to always be working with our distributors once we are signed on with them to figure out what's getting purchased, what is popular, and we're going to use that as we calculate the next beers we brew all the time.
Well, I see you guys also have the People's Pumpkin, and I want to let you know that you guys are already too late for the pumpkin.
Yeah, you missed pumpkin beer.
And I love pumpkin beer.
No, pumpkin beer is available in mid-September through the end of October. That's when pumpkin beer is supposed to be there.
You might just corner the market.
Don't hate me because I drink pumpkin beer all year round. I stock up at this time of year, and I drink it all year round.
The market.
Everybody else
May.
came out.
May.
Yeah, no. You can buy pumpkin at Wegmans in July if you want. But Brew Republic's The People's Pumpkin will be in this tap room between mid-September and the end of October.
Thank you. Because you know what happened last year with, since you mentioned Wegmans, I don't know about your Wegmans, but the one that we have close by here, it was January. And you know how they have the straps that makes the line so people goes in the line? They use a beer that I'm not going to mention here, you probably all know, but there's a king in the name. They use that they use that to define the line into the register in January, right?
Wow.
So there's a problem there.
Only the freshest.
Yeah,
I want to say, how dare you guys have a beer out in the correct season?
Hey, it's only because they're not open until the 24th.
That's true. We have the
We'll come back in 17 and see when they have their pumpkin beers out.
That's right.
So-
By popular demand.
So you don't think we should release the shandy in December?
No, it's a winter shandy. See, it's spiced with all kinds of like peppermint and
like a
winter
June
shandy.
stout, a June Imperial Stout. Yeah,
That's right.
bring it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, Imperial Stout should be a year-round beer.
Oh,
I don't know why
Gil.
people has a problem with that.
Hey,
Here he goes.
I don't agree with him often, but I agree with him here.
Well, you could have a tropical 4 and extra stout that's supposed to be served in warm climates theoretically. So
Yeah.
why not?
Why not? Go for it.
Raises his hand.
So,
Well,
Gil, you about to say something?
no, I just say, that's good with me. I'll come down, and every time you have a stout, I'll make sure to order it out of it.
They can cross it off and put shandy on it or something.
Yeah, all right.
It's a Imperial Black Shandy.
Yeah, chocolate shandy.
Before we wrap up, Stonebridge always has some type of festival going on. Are you guys going to be pouring your beer at any festivals that are on the short term
September
horizon?
10th, before we open, we will be hosting the beer garden at the Stonebridge Fall Festival and Chili Cook-Off. We'll be the only beer served. We'll be right out front of our space here, and come on down and have it. The same day, we'll be over at Ornery's first anniversary, and we'll be having our beer there as well. Again, same day, just across the interstate from where we are. We also have other coming events. We have our grand opening, of course, September 24th, as we talked about, 11 to 11. We're going to be involved in some of these other events coming up as well. And if you look at our website, brewrepublic.beer/events, you'll see everything that we have coming up. We're trying to fill up our calendar as best we can and keep everybody informed of what we're doing.
Yeah,
Awesome.
October 8th over at Bad Wolf. We're also on the taps at that one. So
Cool.
More importantly, are you going to Snallygaster to even consume?
hopefully.
Randy and I are going to be there, and Gil is going to be there as Snallygaster as well too. So
Yeah, I would like to, and if everything pans out, then I will. But I'm going to be in here doing a lot of work that day, and also Waterzone's grand openings that day. So probably stay here in town, but maybe
Yeah, 1 week before opening, probably not a good idea to go spend time drinking. So we'll stop by and pick up Darcy, and she can have a day out.
You can take her up there. Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm excited. Ryan, you said it earlier, this is a great time to be in Prince William County because you guys are opening up. Waters End is coming up right down the street. You got Ornery. You got a Growling Bear. You got Heroic, who's going to be opening up here pretty soon. And I'm talking about all this stuff is roughly within like a 10-minute drive.
Yes.
I mean, so good times for beer. I mean, I'm getting spoiled already. And not everybody's even.
Just a quick thing. So for people coming out to state, I won't have your. Does Virginia fill any growlers for anybody? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, come on down, and we're really easy to get to. If you're driving up and down 95, going from New England to Florida or vice versa, we're right off Interstate 95. Anyone who drives north on 95, past Cell City, you see the Wegman to your right. That's right where we're located. You can come on in, stop in, have a beer. Not too many if you're going to keep driving. Have a beer, have a snack, fill up a growler, and keep going.
Just don't do it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right? I mean, 995 in Woodbridge is the worst traffic
You
in the
won't be traveling too far if that's the case.
Yeah, take your time.
You might need a beer at 4 o'clock in the afternoon after sitting in traffic and take a break.
Typically,
take a break from the traffic, come and have a beer, wait for the traffic just inside.
Exactly.
Typically, people get stuck in traffic right around our exit, so this is a perfect place to get out of that and come hang out for a while.
Yeah.
Everything is strategic with you guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Forward thinking in all aspects. Well, once again, thank you guys so much for your time. We look forward to what you guys are going to do here in the Woodbridge community. Wish you guys nothing but the best of luck. Keep doing it. Keep doing it for the people, because those are the people who are ultimately going to be contributing to your success. So when you listen to them, that's almost a guarantee that they'll help you go far. So cheers to you guys, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, Randy.
John.
Cheers, guys.
So
thank you again.
Gil, do you know who we have on next week? Because I did not look at the schedule.
I think it's Jack Yo's next week or the week after. I have to look. I have a look at the schedule. That's how organized we are right now. We just came back from vacation. Pints and Quarts went on vacation, so we didn't pick up yet. We did a bunch of reviews, so we were working on the reviews
We drank away a few brain cells on that vacation.
We did.
So be sure to follow us on Twitter, where we'll. Every week when we have a new guest, we're going to be blasting that throughout the week. So you always know who's going to be on by following us on Twitter at Craft B Nation. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, remember, find some good friends, find some great beers, and mind those P's and Q's.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.